All right, y'all. So I am back, and like I said, I would be. Never mind the messy bed, anyways. Um, but yeah, I'm here to talk about my thoughts on this perceived Black Panther group versus ICE. And well, there's a couple of developments that came into play before this video even happened, and before me recording this video. So honestly, because I did record it one time, and a couple of things happened. Another ICE murder, another individual murdered by ICE, has happened. So that is something that I would like to cover here. But also just developments on that group of individuals of the supposed Black Panthers, who claimed that they were the same party as the original Black Panthers that we know and love. But we have members of the original Black Panthers, descendants actually, of the original Black Panthers, coming out and saying this new party, right, is not affiliated with the Black Panther Party. And yeah, so I want to talk about that as well. But I want to talk about the murder that happened. So about a week or so later after the murder of, I believe her name was Renee Good, we have another murder happening. I saw this one yesterday. I don't know if it happened yesterday, but I pretty much saw it on camera yesterday, where ICE jumped and murdered a man, Alex, I think his last name was Preddy, I believe. I'll have it on the screen of his name. And yeah, that was another video that was pretty disgusting to see, to be honest with you. And it goes exactly why as to whether this group is cosplaying the Black Panthers, or they're going to be forced to come up with a new name, or first of all, where were they? That is my question with this situation. They responded with the Renee Good, with we're going to be out there armed to protect protesters of ICE, and none of them were around to protect Alex. So I thought that was pretty, I'm not saying it had to be the same dudes in that video that I shared in the last video. But if they're claiming to be, this organization, especially as large as the Black Panther Party is, if they're claiming to even be that, there should have been members around. I'm not saying they're always around. It's not like, they're the Avengers, but, I found it pretty odd that the same protectors, that used Renee's death to possibly push other agendas as well. We're not around when Alex Preddy and others who may have been harmed that day by those ICE agents needed their protection. Now, apparently, Alex had his own gun to legally carry, and I am definitely all for that. I'm for the groups, whatever their damn names are. If they're genuine about it, I am for the groups actually being out there to combat the craziness of what's going on with ICE, because absolutely not. And as I've stated last week, or at least hinted at last week, you will not find me at an ICE protest or anti-ICE protest, or, pro-immigration protest. You will not find me supporting the immigrants. But that does not mean that I support murdering people who want to protest against the ICE agents and things of that nature. Absolutely not. Harming, not just the murdering aspect, but the assaulting, the pushing of women, the jumping of grown men and women, and, harming of individuals simply because they're protesting, right? I'm not for that course of action. Now, if you want to arrest people, whatever, I won't say whatever charges, but if the charges actually fit, which, They can probably come up with a legitimate charge or a charge that sounds legitimate and still be fugazi. So, you know, I'm gonna watch what I say there. But if you want to arrest these folks, arrest them. But the assaults, the murders, yeah, I'm not gonna be for that. And this is exactly why I'm for anybody taking up arms. To those who are going to say things like, oh, you could take up arms and they still end up killing you. Well, if you don't use your arms, of course you're going to get killed. I mean, that's how weapons work. You know, if you have a gun and someone else has a gun and you don't use your gun, but they use their gun, you get hit. You're liable to get hit. And if the hit doesn't kill you, you end up getting injured. Alex didn't use his gun. I only saw him armed with a camera. I saw him taking, just footage of what ICE was doing, right? That's what I saw, okay? But apparently he did have a gun on him, right? Legally carried gun. And that still doesn't justify his murder, by the way, for those who are the bootlickers out there that are going to say something. It doesn't justify him being murdered, but I was seeing reports online about him having a gun and not necessarily actually seeing the gun on camera. Now, I'm not one of these people that's going to look at every single angle. I know there's multiple angles of this murder. I'm not going to look at and analyze every single angle and stuff. That's just not what I want to do. So I'm not going to do that. So if there is an angle where you can clearly see Alex's gun, then by all means, cool. That still doesn't justify, whether I can see it or not, whether you can see it or not, still doesn't justify his murder at all. Whether I agree with why he was out there or not, I'm still going to take that stance. Now, again, I'm also still going to take the stance that I'm going to say we because I still believe, even if I'm not out there, I believe that I should still have the right to bear arms, but you need to take up arms and protect yourself. I think we are way past the time. Y'all really are way past the time of playing nice and trying to get these people to, y'all brought y'all kids out there, or you brought kids out there to see if they were going to have some type of sympathy and say, well, let's not wild out because they got their kids with them. And that didn't work. Y'all bring your weapons, and that helped out a little bit because they saw that you all were also strapped. But it also didn't deter everybody, as you can clearly see, because you can't just show a gun if you're in a war with somebody. You have to then use that gun. Now, anyone is out, whoever's gonna watch this, YouTube, whatever, y'all can feel however you want to feel. Take this shit down. I'm just gonna upload it to my Substack. It's really that simple, And once I get back into my Spotify account, I'll just upload it to Spotify. So I really don't care about any of this video being flagged for any type of threats or anything. I'm simply making it clear that you have that right for a reason. I'm not saying you should then go out and use those guns and just start shooting up ICE agents and police officers and stuff like that. What I'm saying here is you have that right to protect you from exactly what's going on right now. And it's not the victim blame against Alex or anybody else for that matter. It's to simply just say, why bring a gun if you have no intent in, not no intent in using it, because, I don't know how other gun owners react and think, but me personally, I don't intend on using when I bring my weapons out, let me just put it that way, right? I pray to God I don't have to use it for the day whenever I step out the house, or even if I'm in here, and hopefully no one breaks in or whatever. I pray I never have to use the weapons, but when the time comes, and there have been times where I've had to, at least, put off a warning shot, I did so. So it's like, yeah, you all probably y'all are like one step closer in realizing maybe this anti-gun thing is not, the move. Maybe we should have guns. Yeah, that's great. But you should use those guns to protect yourself and protect those around you as well. It's not just a thing for show. I'm not saying that's what Alex was doing with his gun. I'm not saying that's what liberals do with their guns in general. I'm saying be prepared. And like I said last week, be prepared for action. That's how I'm going to put it. Be prepared for action. This video didn't turn into something different because of all the crazy events. Also, again, with this new Black Panther Party, right? They don't call themselves that, but again, that's what everybody is calling them. Huey Newton's niece is calling them that, or the fake Black Panther Party. Also, Chairman, I saw a comment the other day of someone who said that they spoke with Fred Hampton Jr., who is the son of Fred Hampton. Okay. Hampton Jr. Jr. also doesn't recognize this new party or these folks, and he's saying like his stance is don't give them any shine. Huey Newton's niece's stance is I'm taking legal action against them for evoking the name of the party that my uncle founded. Like this is and I have inherited this party, and everything that goes with it. And you all aren't a part of this party at all, right? So she's taking a legal stance. So that's what she says. And again, not Huey Newton, but Fred Hampton's son, Fred Hampton Jr. is taking the stance of just ignore them. Don't give them any shine. Don't support them. Don't do any of that because they're not real. Nonetheless, both stances from the OGs, the actual Black Panthers, and people, who are other like OG Black Panthers I've seen, the stance is these folks are fake. These aren't real Black Panthers. My stance is I personally am going to follow the advice of the OGs because these are the people that I looked up to. Their uncles, their fathers, their aunts, their family members, the members who are still living. These are the originators. So I'm going to look to them and as my opinion about this group. If this group wants me to take them serious, number one, they're going to have to do two things. Number one, change your name if you're not really a part of the Black Panthers, right? And be real about who y'all really are because they looking real suspect. But actually show up. And don't just show up for viral TikTok videos and trying to fool Black Americans to join the fight because you want to evoke the Black Panther Party. That's number one. Number two, actually fight for Black Americans. And it's not even in that order. Actually, number two is the most important one. And then the second one, really. You know what I'm saying? If I had to rank importance. But they're both of importance to me. I won't accept one without the other. Let me just say that. So if you all want me to take this group seriously, or if anyone of the group wants to be taken seriously by me, yeah, you're going to have to do those two things. Because the OGs don't like you. They're saying y'all are fake. And y'all looking suspect. Y'all wasn't around to protect Alex and others who were still being assaulted. Clearly, ICE in Minnesota still feels comfortable harassing, harming, murdering people because you all aren't around like you were that one day or that one night you wanted to record that video. Now, I think that was in Philadelphia. I don't know if that was in Minnesota, that video. Nonetheless, if y'all are serious, and these murders, that's 2 murders in Minnesota right now. At least of protesters. It could be more, but that's 2 murders this year in the same month and all. Like it happened within the same month, which is crazy. Like I said, it happened probably. Alex got murdered a week or two after. Probably 2 weeks. Still, same month. We're still in January, by the way. You know what I'm saying? And all this is happening. And y'all want to, y'all want trust in the people. You want people to trust y'all. One death is one too many, but two is definitely too many deaths. You know? And again, these are people who I would not be side by side with politically. I mean, yeah, well, I'm going to say politically, but also side by side with when it comes to protest our thoughts on the immigrants. But I still don't think they should die or should have died for their stance, for their political stance, or for what they believe in at all. That shouldn't have happened. And I'm not blaming this new party for the death. I'm not blaming, again, the victims. I'm simply saying, if you're going to show up to these events at this point, Renee's death should have showed you, okay, it's dangerous out here. Maybe I should do something to protect myself. Stop thinking. It is my thing with liberals, and I don't care if any liberal gets offended. Y'all swear you all, have this moral stance, which maybe some of y'all do, right? Not everybody is going to view violence the way you do. You might be a pacifist. You might be someone that's like, why are you, it's wrong to murder somebody. It's wrong to harm people. And we're not doing anything wrong. So therefore, we're not doing anything to bother you physically. So therefore, you shouldn't do anything to bother us physically. You may go out there believing that, but that's not going to stop these ICE agents from harming you. And this is going to come off as victim blaming to folks, because I'm not crying about, the deaths of these individuals that I said multiple times already, and I'll say it again. They should not be dead. Their murders were unjust, and it was horrible. And I truly mean that. But I'm not going to lie. If you're still going to these protests with no means of protecting yourself, whether the new Black Panther Party or whatever the fuck they are, whether they are there or not, if you're going to these places, these protests, with no means of protecting yourself, bringing your kids out or bringing kids out because you think these people are going to have a heart and say, there's kids around, let's not wild out, you're bugging. You're truly a fucking idiot. Yeah, I'm going to say you're truly an idiot if you think that's the case. They've already showed you time and time again. They don't give a fuck if there's kids around. They don't care how young the kids are. They don't care if there's women around. They will beat women. They will kill women. They will beat men. They will kill men. They will beat your kid. 2 weeks from now, God forbid, they might even end up killing the kid because someone brought their kid to one of these protests thinking they're going to have a heart. So I really, this video is taking, a couple turns, but we here now. I really want y'all to just wisen up. Just like the message in the last video. I just really want y'all to wisen up. How many more people, innocent people, have to die because y'all are going out there empty fucking handed? If that's something you're willing to die for, then you can't really continue the tears. You have to charge it to the game at this point. As insensitive as it may sound, that's the move y'all are giving, though. Why are you continuing to go out here and put yourself in a line of fire? If you feel because the fight for these immigrants is worth it, then by all means, you have that right to feel that way. Again, you will not see me out there joining your little fight. And not at all. But I still think it is messed up when you have people who are out there, whether they're out there to protest, whether they're out there to document situations, whether they're out there to do both. You're in a war zone. You might not think it is because it's in America, but guess what? Here's another fucking news flash that you should have known. America has zero problems going to war with its own citizens. You're in a war zone. So you got to be war ready. And if that's not something you're prepared for, just like I said in the last video, don't fucking go. Protest online. Protest in a way that is going to be somewhat safer. Because even doing that online nowadays, you know, you're going to have people knocking at your door. Right? Practicing your free speech, right? And still having folks knocking at your door. But if you're not prepared for war, this is what's going to continue to happen. So at least be prepared for that. Call it victim blaming. I'm simply telling you, as someone who agrees with you 0% on the stance of immigration and what you're fighting for, that I still think your life is valuable. When I say all lives matter, well, first of all, I don't say that dumb shit, but I really do truly believe your life still matters. Hell, I still think the immigrants' lives matter. I don't like how they're going about things illegally and how their actions have a negative effect on me, not just as American, but especially as a Black American, where resources are taken away and all this other shit. That doesn't mean, again, I still believe they should die. As fucked up and crazy as you might think I am, there's very little reasons why I can come up with to justify murder. Immigrating to a country doesn't justify it. Protesting for immigrants doesn't justify it. Carrying a gun legally and even illegally doesn't justify it. Driving a car to use it as a barrier to block people from obtaining immigrants doesn't justify murder. Bringing your kid to a war zone, although it's stupid, doesn't justify murder. Not you or of your kids. I can go on and on and on about things I don't think is a justification to murder somebody. But this video has gone on long enough. So that's what I have to say about all this mess here. And like I said, it started off one way, but it just trickled because of events. It trickled into what we have here now. But I'm proud of what I said here now, as opposed to what I was saying before. So, yeah, this is going to be the final product. Before I go, because of all the crazy, weird shit happening with this new Black Panther Party group, or whatever their name is, right? This COINTEL group, it's looking like. I'm definitely going to keep a close eye on them and then share my thoughts on, you know, anything that I feel, any developing information that I feel is worthy of commenting on. So most definitely. But and there's other topics related to what's going on that I, you know, more videos coming is what I gotta say. Y'all take care.